Welcome back to another rebuild I have for you guys here today on Madden 19. Before I get into the team though, I want to give a little shout out to my friend Slender. His link will be in the description, and he uploads FIFA and Call of Duty mainly. It's pretty much been FIFA for the most part, at least as of recently, but he started uploading again and he's been pretty consistent with it. So I want to give him a little shout out, see if we can get him a bit of a fan base. If you guys are interested in FIFA, I think he uploads a lot of Ultimate Team and Weekend League. I'm not too familiar with FIFA, if I'm being honest. But if that sounds interesting to you, and you guys, like Call of Duty as well, then definitely consider going to check out his channel, and hopefully you'll like what you see, and then you can, also subscribe if you want. But his channel will be in the description. Now let's get into this Titans roster. So this roster is pretty young and has a lot of talent. Marcus Mariota is the quarterback here. He has star development, and he's 24 years old. So I will most likely be keeping him on the team for the rest of the rebuild. He's only an 80 overall. But I've seen him develop into a very good quarterback. I've also seen him be in the MVP contention quite a bit. They have a good running back tandem. Dion Lewis is better than Derrick Henry, in my opinion. But they are great complements to one another. Dion Lewis is small, shifty, quick, great pass catcher, whereas Derrick Henry is a bruiser. 6'3", 247 pounds. He has star development, but from my recent experience with Derrick Henry, I think I may have signed him in free agency once, and I'm pretty sure I've used him a couple times in Madden 18. He really doesn't play too well in simulation. I'm not sure what that's all about, so I think I might keep Dion Lewis at least for a season. I want to see how Dion Lewis performs. If he's not performing well, then I'll probably throw Derrick Henry as the starter for a season, and if that doesn't go well, I don't know, maybe I'll trade for a running back. But they have two good running backs here. They can both be starters for sure, but I want Dion Lewis to start. I kind of just want to see what happens, with that sense. Wide receiver core isn't phenomenal, but Corey Davis is pretty good. 23 years old, quick development. He's a good number one wide receiver. Taywan Taylor isn't bad. Tajay Sharp, again, isn't bad. They're both pretty young. Actually, all three of these guys are very young. I still think I'll trade for another wide receiver, though, to give Marcus Mariota some more help. This offensive line is pretty good. There's some age, though, in the interior part. And with Taylor Lewan, he's like 27. He's still pretty young, I guess. I'll probably keep him for the rest of the rebuild. The thing with him is that he's pretty expensive. I just hope he doesn't go down in overall too much when he hits like 29, 30 years old, because that would be a bit of an issue. Not really. Probably still play kind of well. Quentin Spain, not a bad left guard. I think he's like 25. He's 26 actually, so he might stay on the team. Ben Jones and Josh Klein, both pretty good at their position, but they're kind of old. Ben Jones is 29 years old. Josh Klein, 28 years old. I'll probably trade both of those guys. Jack Conklin will stay. He's like 24. Yeah, so he's going to be the right tackle for the rest of this rebuild here. Delaney Walker is a great tight end. I kind of want to see what Jonnu Smith can do, though. Like, I really like Delaney Walker. But he always retires after the first season, so I kind of want to get some value out of him. I have literally never seen him not retire, I'm pretty sure. I feel like every season that I've done in Madden 19 is retired after the first year. I kind of remember him being in free agency a couple times, if I'm being honest, but I honestly can't remember if that's Madden 19 or if that's Madden 18. But still, I feel like he retires quite frequently. I might get rid of him. Also, no hatred to anyone I get rid of. I think a lot of these players on the Titans team are actually pretty good, and if I do trade any of them, I don't know, I feel like it makes some sense in the rebuild situation. This defense is pretty young as well and has some, very talented players. Kevin Byard turning into one of the best free safeties in the NFL. He's actually really good. He's a great ball hawk. Harold Landry is a rookie, and I'm pretty sure he's performing decently at least. I've seen him go up pretty well in overall. I think I've traded for him a couple times after the first season. Rashaan Evans was their first-round draft pick, I think. He's pretty good as well. 21 years old, 6'3". Only normal development. No, actually, he's quick. Never mind. That's nice to see. 90 hit power. Hopefully he can go up in overall. Wesley Woodyard has been a great linebacker for this Titans team in the past, but I'll probably get rid of him just because he's 30. He's not 32. Actually, he's not going anywhere. So definitely be wise to get rid of him. Brian Arakpo, another sick player. We'll definitely be moving him. He's 32 years old. He's been a great pass rusher in the NFL for the past, 11 years? 9 years. Why did I think 11? Whatever. But he's been good. He's a good veteran. Derek Morgan, he's been a pretty decent pass rusher as well. Probably get rid of him. Jonathan Cyprian is going to be gone. Kenny Vaccaro, I don't know what to do with him. He's 27, 83 overall. He's not bad. He plays decently in simulation. Maybe I'll keep him. I'm not sure. This cornerback core is pretty good. Adoree Jackson has a lot of potential. He is a very young corner, so I can see him doing some great things. Logan Ryan is usually in the Pro Bowl, but I don't know if I really want to keep him. He's 27, 83 overall, and he's also expensive. So he will go down in overall pretty significantly. while still being expensive. I'm not sure if I really want that. I kind of want to trade for someone younger who will be a higher overall in like a year or two, or, you know, who is already a higher overall. Malcolm Butler is definitely going to get traded. He's 28, quick development, not that great anymore, at least overall wise. I really don't know how he's playing in real life. This defensive line is pretty good. Jarrell Casey, he's getting up there in age, but I think I'll keep him on the team. I don't think he goes down too badly. Daquan Jones is rather young, 26. I'll probably keep him for at least a season, maybe try to draft a replacement. Then Austin Johnson maybe will be the starting defensive tackle because he's only 24. Benny Logan's kind of old. So there are some good pieces on this team, but there's also some age. This team actually has a lot of trade value, though, so let me get into some trades here. Will Compton and Josh Klein will get me the Colts' 1st and 5th round draft picks. I'm giving the Browns Jayon Brown, Benny Logan, and a 5th round draft pick for their 1st rounder, and I think I'm going to be using this in another trade. The trade ended up working. I'm giving the Saints that 1st round draft pick we just got from the Browns, Jonathan Cyprien and Logan Ryan for Michael Thomas. It took me a little while to try to figure out which offensive lineman I want, but I'm going after Shaq Mason. I'm giving the Patriots Wesley Woodyard, Brian Orakpo, and Luke Stalker to get Mason. Taywan Taylor, Malcolm Butler, and a 2nd round draft pick will get me Budda Baker. This seems like a pretty big overtrade, but trust me, Budda Baker will develop super well. Also, I needed to add the 2nd rounder to get this through because he's actually kind of hard to trade for. Derek Morgan, Blaine Gabbert, and Michael Pruitt, I think, will get me their Raiders' 1st round draft pick. I also moved Derek Morgan down to a left end. Probably could have kept him at linebacker, but I feel like he had more value at defensive end. Ben Jones, Trey Wick, and Kevin Pamphile will get me the Cardinals' 1st round draft pick. This is pretty much what the team is going to look like heading into this 1st season. I can't go into free agency right now for some reason, so I will most likely just advance the week and then just sign a center. Maybe we'll just have this guy start. I don't think it matters too much, honestly. I'm going to draft a center regardless of what happens. But anyway, I think this team got a little better on the offensive side. So we did lose Ben Jones, but we also gained Shaq Mason, who was a very good right guard. I decided to keep Delanie Walker. I kind of just felt bad trading him. Like, I just really did not want to trade him. So he's going to stay on the team for this season, and I think I might give Jonnu Smith a chance next year, even though he's a pretty low overall. I've seen him in the Pro Bowl a couple times, so why not try it? But we also acquired Michael Thomas, like one of the best wide receivers this year so far. He is unreal. He catches nearly everything. That's actually true. The last time I said that about a receiver, it was about Keelan Cole, and he has a pretty bad drop rate, but I'm pretty sure Michael Thomas is catching like above like 95% of his targets or something absurd like that. Corey Davis will be playing in the slot. He's not really much of a slot wideout. I mean, he's 6'3", 209 pounds. What's his short route running? Doesn't really matter about the size too much. 82 short, so he's not the best slot wide receiver. The reason why I said it doesn't matter about the size too much with these slot wide receivers is I'm pretty sure Michael Thomas actually runs out of the slot quite frequently. I could throw him there, but I'd rather have him be the number 1. Because I think in simulation, the number 1 wideout gets the most targets. And then Tajay Sharp will just be the number 2 wide receiver. So the offense isn't too bad. I think it can actually do kind of decently. But then the defense I kind of destroyed because a lot of the best players on this side of the ball were pretty old. Like Brian Orakpo, Wesley Woodyard wasn't too bad. Derek Morgan was getting up there in age, but he's not terrible. You know, players like that. And then the corners I had to kind of destroy as well. I'm sure Logan Ryan will be in the Pro Bowl, though. That's just kind of how it works. I don't know why he makes the Pro Bowl so often. But I like the cornerback core we have. Adoree Jackson, Budda Baker, and LaShawn Sims. As of now, LaShawn Sims won't be a starter the whole time, most likely. But the overalls might be kind of low. But I've seen Budda Baker absolutely go off. I really have faith in him to do it again. Adoree Jackson, same goes for him, to be honest. I think he can absolutely go off. And then Kenny Vaccaro and Kevin Byard round off the secondary. So the secondary is probably the best part of this defense. The defensive line isn't too bad. Jarrell Casey's very good. Daquan Jones is actually pretty expensive. So if I can draft a better defensive end, I might try to look to trade him. Austin Johnson, I kind of want a new defensive tackle. And then this linebacking core isn't great, but Harold Landry has potential to grow. I'm trying to build the linebacking core around him, really. Kamalea Correa isn't bad either. He has room to grow, but he'll probably be replaced next year. Rashaan Evans has a ton of room to grow, and then Nate Palmer, I guess, is going to be the second middle linebacker. He's not very good, but that doesn't really matter too much. Here's a look at the special teams for anyone who cares, and here's a look at the specialist. So Budda Baker will be the slot corner. Corey Davis will be the slot wide receiver. Deion Lewis, third down running back. Derrick Henry, power back, of course. Harold Landry, Jarrell Casey, Kamalea Correa will be pass rushing there. And then Rashaan Evans will be the sub linebacker. So I actually think this team can play decently. I'm not really expecting a playoff berth. But we'll see what happens. This guy has A+ hit power. Are you joking? I have never seen that before. What even is that? At the mid-season mark here, we are 2-5. The Cowboys are 1-6, so at least we're doing a little better than them. The Jaguars are 7-1, Texans 5-3, Colts 4-4. So the team isn't playing well. Maybe it's a product of the scheme. I don't know. I'll have to determine that later. But a couple guys in the offense have an experience point. Also, the defense is pretty bad on this team, so that could be it. Rashaan Evans has one. Harold Landry does, along with a couple other players here. Kenny Vaccaro has to come back to the team. I might let this go until the end of the season just to see how he plays. Because if he doesn't play too well, I don't really want him. Quentin Spain, honestly, how much do you want? I think I could replace you pretty easily. He's not that amazing. I mean, he has quick development. He's pretty young still. I think I can replace him. I don't really feel like paying him that much. Kendrick Lewis, I'm going to let go. Ty Smith, I'm going to let go. Everyone else, too. So, pretty uneventful re-signing period here. I might be bringing back Kenny Vaccaro at the end of the year, though. This team did not end up making the playoffs. Pretty obvious, though. We did go 6-10, so turned it around a little bit at the end of the season. 13-3 from the Jaguars, 12-4 from the Texans, and then 5-11 from the Colts. I would have rather went 5-11. We would have gotten a better draft pick. But 0-4 in the preseason, lost the opening 4 games, then won 2 in a row. Lost to the Chargers, Cowboys, and Patriots. Only lost by 1 to the Patriots, though. Then we beat the Colts by 1, interesting. Lost to the Texans, beat the Jets. Lost to the Jaguars, beat the Giants. Lost to the Redskins, beat the Colts. And I'm sorry, somebody just opened and closed the door outside again, so you guys probably heard that. Anyway, the stats, Marcus Mariota, really actually a pretty good season. 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Okay, so the offense didn't seem too terrible. Dion Lewis wasn't particularly great. Only 4 touchdowns, 824 yards. 444 yards for Derrick Henry with 7 touchdowns. He definitely played better. Maybe we'll try to start him next year. Corey Davis, though, 1,230 yards with 11 touchdowns. Michael Thomas, 7 touchdowns isn't bad, but really not getting too many yards. Not getting that many receptions either. What happened? Tajay Sharp got the second most. Blocking, 16 sacks let up from Taylor Lewan, 14 from Jack Conklin. That's not good. 7 from Quentin Spain isn't great either. Sack numbers are always so weird. It's kind of hard to judge them, to be honest. 113 tackles for Rashaan Evans with 7 sacks, 1 pick, and 10 tackles for loss. It'd be cool if that's enough for Defensive Rookie of the Year, but who knows. 15 tackles for loss for Daquan Jones, 10 from Rashaan Evans and Harold Landry. Sacks, we have 7 from Rashaan Evans, who actually leads the team. Well, he's tied with Jarrell Casey. 6.5 from Harold Landry, not too bad as a rookie either. Picks, we have 2 from Budda Baker, Kenny Vaccaro, and LaShawn Sims. 1 from Rashaan Evans, Kendrick Lewis, Adoree Jackson, and Ty Smith. Any touchdowns? We do not have any touchdowns. Do we have any safeties? We have 1 from Kendrick Lewis, and then blocked kicks. We have 3, actually. Jarrell Casey, Austin Johnson, and Kevin Byard each got 1. We were 15th in the NFL on offense. That can definitely improve with a better running game. And then 14th on defense, so right around the middle of the pack for both of them. Phillip Rivers wins MVP. Nobody from the Titans. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Phillip Rivers. Marcus Mariota, though, makes it at number 7. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Wesley Woodyard, of course, on the Patriots now. Nobody from our team. Defensive Rookie, nope, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know why I always think that's a D. It goes to Baker Mayfield. I don't think we started any offensive rookies, but let's see. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Rashaan Evans. There we go. It'll probably still only equate to about 3 experience points, but Harold Landry comes in 4th. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if Harold Landry got more, just because this game's kind of broken with that. Check out the experience points, though. 3 from Marcus Mariota is actually quite good. 5 from Corey Davis. Wow. Michael Thomas only got 1. Tajay Sharp only got 1. I kept Levin at center because he was like the best center there. When I advanced the week, I'm pretty sure like every other team was able to take free agents before me, so that's why the best centers were only like in the mid-60s. On the defense, then, 7 from Rashaan Evans. What? I have the same XP sliders. So he actually got a bunch for winning. Actually, no, he made the Pro Bowl. Okay, Defensive Rookie of the Year, he only got 8,000. But the Pro Bowl is really where it comes into play. I don't know how he made the Pro Bowl, to be honest. Regardless, he got 7 experience points. 2 from Harold Landry is not bad. 2 from Budda Baker. I honestly expected a bit more. 2 from Kenny Vaccaro. Not too bad. Maybe I'll re-sign him. I don't know. It depends on the safeties in this class. I think we're going to have a couple guys in the Pro Bowl, so let's check out the roster. Blake Bortles is the first quarterback. Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Le'Veon Bell, Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette, Roosevelt Nix, Patrick Ricard, Keenan Allen, Corey Davis made it. That's why he got so many experience points. Emmanuel Sanders, Marquise Lee, Travis Benjamin, and Julian Edelman. Pretty interesting group. Hunter Henry, Gronk, and Travis Kelce are the tight ends. Laramie Tunsil and Taylor Lewan are the left tackles. Andrew Norwell, Josh Sitton are the left guards. Brandon Linder, Rodney Hudson, David DeCastro, Marshall Yonda, Mitchell Schwartz, who's up to a 90 overall. That's pretty cool. And Marcus Gilbert round off the rest of the O-line. Emmanuel Ogba, Jabal Sheard, Myles Garrett, Yannick Ngakoue, Malik Jackson, Corey Leggett, and Devon Godshaw. Von Miller, Matt Milano, Wesley Woodyard, and Rashaan Evans. Both players, from the Titans. I mean, obviously Wesley Woodyard is on the Patriots now, but still, you know what I mean. Jadeveon Clowney, Dante Hightower are the right outside linebackers. Kayvon Webster, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Terrence Mitchell, and Bradley Roby. Not a particularly strong group of corners aside from Minkah Fitzpatrick. I mean, the NFC side isn't that strong either. I mean, they have Richard Sherman, but Nevin Lawson isn't too great. Vernon Hargreaves isn't too great overall-wise. Marcus Gilchrist, Derwin James. It's Gilchrist, whatever. Derwin James makes it too. Eric Berry, Darian Stewart. And then, is this Kai Fairbarn? I think his first name's Kai. And Matt Hawk, Albert Wilson, and Scott. Scott always makes it as the punt returner. I think I will bring back Kenny Vaccaro. I feel like he played well enough. Actually, it depends on our money situation. Not you. We have $50 million. I can definitely bring back Kenny Vaccaro then. He also has star development. I didn't really look at the safeties, to be honest, in this draft, but I still think he's worth it to bring back. He is coming back to the team. He also has 2 experience points, so technically he's an 85 overall. So hopefully he can play well next season. If there is like an insanely good safety, I'm still not opposed to drafting one and then trading Kenny Vaccaro. But let's sign free agents. Also, if like a random stud is here, I'm not opposed to signing them either. David Irving. Ooh, he would be really helpful. He doesn't really fit the scheme too much. He would fit this scheme more as like a defensive end with this team. He has star development. Ooh, I really want to go after him and move him to defensive end. He's going to have a huge contract, though. The Dolphins are overpaying for him. Bryce Callahan, up to an 84. The Dolphins, again, offering Tyrell Williams a ton. Bryce Callahan, William Hayes, like, they literally just take the first 4 guys and just like, all right, yeah, here, take all of our money. So, I hate that, though, because it kind of takes these players just completely out of the consideration. Like, they're offering Michael Kendricks 122 points. I mean, Trent Brown is here. He'd be a decent option to go after if he could shift inside to, like, guard or something. I don't really think he could. I don't know. He's not too bad. I don't really think I want to go after him, though. I'm trading up in this draft to get the 2nd overall pick. I'm giving the Saints the 16th overall pick and Correa in order to get this done. The reason why I'm getting rid of Correa, though, is because I'm drafting an outside linebacker. And I really think the Saints were going to take this guy. I'm surprised the Bills didn't take this quarterback, to be honest. Hunter Body, he looks really good, actually, and he won the Heisman. So, he most likely has, like, star development. But I'm going with B.J. Harden. A+ hit power. I've never seen this. I've seen A+ in other stats, but never hit power. Drops off quite significantly after that, though. B pursuit, B- power moves. So this guy should be really good, but I don't think he's going to be like an 84. Who knows? Let's see. He's an 80. Okay, so that's not bad at all. He was ranked 5th. We took him at number 2. But he has 96 hit power, 85 speed, 89 acceleration, good power moves, not good block shed, and not good finesse moves. But still, he's definitely going to be playing outside linebacker for me. The Jets ended up taking the defensive tackle I wanted. I kind of thought they were going to go with a quarterback or with the other defensive tackle because there was another one here who was actually ranked higher, but I don't think he's as good. Fisher Carpenter, he still actually looks pretty good, so I might take him still because I can still use a defensive tackle. I also really want a corner. I think a corner might actually be more important to me than a defensive tackle, so I'm going to go with Devin Smith. Supposed to be in the mid-first round, but I think he's going to be at least an 80 overall. He has 4.28 speed, which is unreal. B-man, B- press, C+ zone. Usually these man-to-man corners with an 8.0 combine or higher are like an 80 to like an 84 overall with like a good development trait. So let's see what this guy's all about. 81 overall, quick development, ranked exactly where he was supposed to go. 98 speed, 83 man, 78 zone, 82 press, 88 agility, 93 acceleration. He's a good corner. He should be starting for the rest of the time for us. So the other defensive tackle got drafted, but DeAndre Pratt is still here. He actually looks like a really good defensive end. So I think I might select him and then start him at left or right end, whichever position Jarrell Casey isn't. I think Jarrell Casey's a right end, so I'll probably start DeAndre Pratt at left. I think that's actually a pretty good idea right now. Let me check out my draft board. So I had a pretty good middle linebacker who I wanted to select, but he's actually gone, so that's okay. I'm not sure what his overall is going to be, but Logan Condren actually looks really good too. So I want to take him at some point. Not yet, though. I might take him with my next pick. I might take him like really early. compared to when he's supposed to go. But right now, let's go with DeAndre Pratt. 81 overall, quick development. I keep just getting all these quick developing guys. 78 speed, 81 acceleration, 85 strength, 87 block shed, 78 power moves. Pretty good looking defensive end. I think he will start for us too. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Daquan Jones then. Maybe I'll trade him for a defensive tackle, or maybe I'll just slide Jones to defensive tackle. I'm not sure yet. I have a bit of a decision here. So there's a left guard who looks kind of good. That center actually went. Wow, there's a center who was supposed to go kind of late, but he went already. Actually, I think I might be thinking about this guy. So Curtis Hewitt was supposed to go late, and he's still here, but I think I'd rather have this middle linebacker. I think it's actually more of a need right now because there's some other offensive linemen later who don't look terrible, so I can definitely take a shot on them. Also, I could always just trade for another offensive lineman. That's not that difficult. But Logan Condren, he's not too fast. 4.78 speed isn't the best, but he's very strong. He has a good vertical jump, and he has really good top 3 skills. So I'm going to go with him. 81 overall, only normal development, but he's ranked 3rd in the entire class, actually. 81 speed isn't phenomenal. 86 tackling is good. 88 block shed is really good. 90 pursuit, 77 zone coverage. 75 man coverage, too. 85 acceleration. This guy's really good. I just want to point this out, that this guy's probably pretty good. Scott Tollefson. I just don't really need him anymore. I would select him if I still needed an outside linebacker, but I really don't anymore. So it's between this defensive tackle or this left tackle. Oh, this left tackle looks nice. 36 reps is pretty good. There's a defensive tackle up here, but there's also one down here, and I don't really think either of them are going to be that great. Barry Ferguson could be something, though. B block shed, B minus tackling. When are you supposed to go? He's supposed to go in the late 4th round. Lumar Adams. So I could select Barry Ferguson now. He's supposed to go in the late 4th round? Mid 4th round. Okay, so I'm going to go with Ferguson now. What are you all about, my friend? 77 overall, normal development. That was actually a really nice pick. 90 strength, 83 block shed, 81 tackling. I think I'm going to start this guy at D tackle. I'm going to have a ton of rookies starting. I'm almost positive that left tackle went. Players, or teams usually kind of reach on players in a sense when they get in the later rounds. Like, yeah, he was supposed to go in the late 4th. We're in the early 4th, and he's gone. That's okay, though. This center looks kind of good anyway, so I'll take him. 75 overall, normal development. Really not a bad player. I think he's going to be a starter anyway because we still need a center. And I'm pretty much just drafting, like, so many starters. I think everyone I selected so far is going to start. That'll probably end soon, though, because I only have 2 other positions, or 2 other players scouted. I might just go with the fullback. Actually, I think this fullback will start, so let's keep the trend alive. 75 overall normal development. Gordon Maneri. He's definitely going to start at fullback. That defensive tackle actually ended up getting selected, so I will just trade away my remaining draft picks, and I'll see you next season. This was definitely one of my best drafts so far this season. We got 4 80 overall players, at least 3 of those being an 81, a 77, and then 2 75s. So let's check out everybody. Who had the highest rated player? I'm pretty sure it's going to be this defensive tackle I wanted. Yeah, it is. Walker Pleasant. Superstar development. Are you serious? How did I let this guy go? Oh my good lord. 97 strength. I can't believe I let this guy go. That pisses me off a little bit. I should have just traded up and selected him. I kind of just thought the Jets would go with a quarterback or something. But we do have the 2nd ranked player, and the 3rd, and the 4th, and the 5th. So, okay. We have a lot of really talented players here. Where's that quarterback? Where did he end up going? Hunter Body? Was this him? I think it was. What kind of development you got? You have Superstar. Okay, so the Giants got a really good-looking quarterback, at least for development. Pretty good draft. I really wish I selected that defensive tackle. Who was that other one? I forgot his name. Fisher Carpenter. It was this guy. He had quick. He would have been an okay selection. I really want that guy in the Jets, though. Daquan Jones moved to a defensive tackle. Straight up will get me James Daniels. He's not the highest rated like left guard I could have gotten. I probably could have gotten Ali Marpet. But I don't normally get James Daniels. He's very young still, and he also fits the scheme, so I'm all for it. This team is a lot better than the team was last season. I really actually think this team could make it into the playoffs. Hopefully Dion Lewis plays a little bit better. He didn't play well last season. Should I start Derrick Henry then? I don't think he's going to do too much better. I'll go with it. I'll start Derrick Henry this season. Let's give them both a shot at actually starting, and let's see what happens. Let's see who can play better. I feel like Henry won't play well either, so I might have to just get a superstar running back. I also need a backup tight end, so I will sign one of those eventually. But Jonnu Smith is going to be starting at tight end now since Delaney Walker retired. I told you it was going to happen, but hopefully Smith can fill in well. Wide receiver core is still very good. Corey Davis is up to an 86 overall. This offensive line is still good. We have a new center. We have a new left guard. And then defense. We have a ton of different players starting. Condren, Harden, Ferguson, Smith, and Pratt are all rookies. So they should get a ton of experience points after this season. I don't think any of them have more than quick development, but still quick development isn't too bad. Rashaan Evans played really well last season. He got a ton of experience points and now has star development. Who else played well last season? Kenny Vaccaro had a pretty good year. He went up in overall. Adoree Jackson is an 86 overall now. Harold Landry could hopefully thrive now. Kevin Byard too. I got the linebacker upgrade as well, so these guys should be getting even more experience. I'm excited for this season. I think the team can play pretty well, so let me sign a backup tight end, and I'll see you at the midseason. Here we are at the midseason mark this year, and we are 6-1. There we go. The team's playing pretty well. Hopefully the second half of the year goes just as well. Broncos seem like they're playing decently too, 5-2. We are on top of the division. The Texans are 5-2, the Colts are 3-4, and the Jaguars 5-1. Jeez. So we have 1 experience point for a couple guys here on the offensive side. Anyone on the defense have 2. I'm not seeing 2 from anyone. It's actually kind of surprising. We have a lot of really young players starting. So I'm going to double check to make sure the specialist is all good. I think it is. So Michael Thomas has to come back to the team. Probably going to be a big contract, but I'll definitely pay him. Kevin Byard, Derrick Henry, Marcus Mariota. That's going to be a big contract. Jack Conklin. Yeah, Brett Kern I'll bring back. Tajay Sharp. He's starting currently, so if he doesn't want too much, I'll probably bring him back. Austin Johnson I will let go, though, because he is a backup. Michael Thomas. We have $94 million in cap. Jeez. Okay. So Michael Thomas coming back to the team. We can definitely, easily bring back all these players. So let's try to get Kevin Byard back onto the team. One of the better players on the defense. He's coming back. Derrick Henry. I hope he's playing well. If he is, I'm going to feel bad for not starting him. But I hope you guys can understand that, like, I've seen him play really badly in simulation. I don't know why, but I've seen him play really bad. So I didn't want to take the risk. I've also seen Dion Lewis, like, completely go off. This is a big contract. Alright, so he's accepting, though. That's good. But yeah, I've seen Dion Lewis completely go off. And I was kind of hoping that would happen, but it didn't. I don't know. Maybe Derrick Henry is playing better. If he is, then I'll keep him for next season for sure. It'll be a pretty easy decision. Brett Kern, let's bring you back to a 2-year contract. Hopefully keep you for the rest of the rebuild. Actually, I might have to go a season after that. Whatever. Tajay Sharp, how much do you want? It's actually kind of a lot. I'm just going to sign a wide receiver in free agency. I'm okay with that. Austin Johnson, I will let go. Darren Bates is a captain. Alright, so I'll let go everyone else there too. We got our first round bye. We actually just shut out the Panthers 20-0. 11-5, not bad. 11-5 from the Texans, 9-6-1 from the Jaguars, and then 9-7 from the Colts. In the preseason, though, we only went 1-3, but then we won the first 5 games of the season. Lost barely to the Chargers, a 10-7 game. How boring. Then won 2 in a row. Lost to the Texans, beat the Colts. Lost to the Jaguars, beat the Buccaneers. Lost to the Falcons, beat the Raiders. Lost to the Steelers, beat the Panthers. So the second half of the season was rather up and down, but we started off very strongly, so that's nice. Matt Ryan wins MVP. Marcus Mariota, how did you play, though? 4,602 yards, 32 touchdowns, 15 picks. Okay, so that's a lot of interceptions, but I like the yards and I like the touchdowns. He's actually playing pretty well right now. Derrick Henry was better than Dion Lewis. How are these guys, like, better as a backup? Dion Lewis last year had, like, 3.6, no, I don't think it was that low. I think it might have been 3.9 yards a carry. Now he has 4.6 as a backup. Derrick Henry almost gets 1,000 yards, gets 12 touchdowns, though. I think that's good enough for me to keep both of these guys on the team. Like, if you combine their stats, they're one pretty good running back. Receiving 1,452 yards with 9 touchdowns for Corey Davis. What in the world? 111 catches? What? The slot wide receiver in this scheme just goes off. Michael Thomas, 83 catches, 971 yards, 10 touchdowns. That's still a really good season. Jonnu Smith played pretty well, 8 touchdowns. Tajay Sharp didn't do too much, only gets 2 touchdowns. But what is this season by Corey Davis? Blocking, is this any better? Yes, actually, it's a lot better than it was last season. On the defensive side, 114 tackles from Rashaan Evans, 2 picks, 5 tackles for loss. Hopefully that's another Pro Bowl. 13 tackles for loss, though, from DeAndre Pratt, 12 from Jarrell Casey, 11 from Barry Ferguson, 10 from Logan Condren. Sacks, 9.5 from Jarrell Casey, 9 from B.J. Harden. That's nice. 4.5 from Harold Landry. Interceptions, 2 from Rashaan Evans and Devin Smith, 1 from Logan Condren, Buda Baker, and Adoree Jackson. I really thought Buda Baker would go off more. Still playing pretty well, I guess, though. No defensive touchdowns, any safeties. We have 1 from DeAndre Pratt. Any blocked kicks? We do not have any. So this year on offense, we were 2nd. A lot of that has to do with Marcus Mariota playing really, really well, though. And then 6th in the NFL in defense. There we go. Matt Ryan, though, wins MVP. Marcus Mariota makes it number 6. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Blake Bortles. Of course it does. Marcus Mariota comes in 4th. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Denzel Perriman. Rashaan Evans, though, comes in 10th. Offensive Rookie of the Year, nobody from our team. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Antoine Fields. We had so many different players. B.J. Harden comes in 2nd, though. Devin Smith comes in 4th. Logan Condren comes in 7th. And that is it. I'm kind of surprised our defensive tackle didn't make it. But anyway, experience-wise, we have 3 from Marcus Mariota. 10? Are you serious? How did he get 10? 2 Pro Bowls, NFL receptions leader, wide receiver of the year, and he has superstar. He's going to go up to a 98 overall. Are you joking? Are my experience sliders too high? Let me know in the comments, I guess. On the defense, though, we have 3 from Rashaan Evans, 2 from BJ Harden? Was that your name? Yeah, it was your name. Okay. We have 1 or 2 from... Okay, 2 from Harold Landry, 2 from Adoree Jackson, Buda Baker, 3 from Devin Smith, not too bad, 2 from Pratt, 1 from Ferguson. So let me spin these quick. It's going to take me a while just because Corey Davis has so many. We have to take on the Texans in the divisional round here, but here's a look at the upgrades. And oh my god, Corey Davis is a 98 overall, superstar development with like 499 overall stats. Okay, I see 3, but there's a 98 release in there too. I still think I'm going to keep him in the slot, even though he's a higher overall than Michael Thomas. Like, he just is playing so well in the slot. Is he still there? He should be, right? Okay, yeah, he's still a slot wide receiver. He's a 95 overall at it now. But then here's a look at the defense. Rashaan Evans went up to an 85. He's looking kind of nice. Adoree Jackson, 88. Buda Baker, 85. Devin Smith, I think that's your name. Pretty sure that's what I said earlier. Okay. He's an 84 overall. Defense is looking pretty good, but check out the overall difference. I think we're like an 85 or an 86 overall at this point. And the Texans are actually the same. We are both an 85. Let's see. Can we take down the Texans? I really hope we can. It would be cool to get like a Super Bowl run this season. See what happens, though. We actually won. Okay, we beat them 31-28. The Steelers are up next. They're a very difficult team to take down. They probably have a higher overall than we do. That's what I meant to say. 87 to our 85. This means that we should win, just because I've lost so many games to so many lower overall teams. And we won, actually, 35-21. I was looking for a game down here, but I realized that I sent to the Pro Bowl. So we're actually going to the Super Bowl against the Rams. But let me check out the Pro Bowl roster, and I'll make sure to check, or just to show you guys that I did not cheat. But Baker Mayfield, Phillip Rivers, and Marcus Mariota are here. Le'Veon Bell, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Maniri, who's actually our fullback, and Anthony Sherman. Corey Davis, of course, is the first wide receiver. Jarvis Landry, DeAndre Hopkins, T.Y. Hilton, Wall, I forgot your first name, and Emmanuel Sanders, David Njoku, ASJ, and Gronk, Taylor Lewan, Ronnie Stanley, Joel Bitonio, Andrew Norwell, Brandon Linder, Ronnie Hudson, David Castro, Kevin Zeitler, Mitchell Schwartz, and Jack Conklin are the offensive linemen there. J.J. Watt and John Simon, Yannick Ngakoue, Myles Garrett, David Irving, Pleasant, of course he made the Pro Bowl. He's on the Jets if you guys don't remember, and Larry Ogunjobi, D. Ford, T.J. Watt, Preston Brown, Anthony Hitchens, Jadeveon Clowney, and Justin Houston. And then Jimmy Smith, Artie Burns, William Jackson, and Casey Hayward. Jesse Bates, up to an 86. Darwin James makes it again. Eric Berry, Tyrann Mathieu, Justin Tucker, Sam Cook. So the special teams from the Ravens there. Gio Bernard and Scott rounded off. Here's a look at the postseason, though. We just legitimately beat the Texans and the Steelers. No forced wins or anything like that. I just wanted to show you, just in case any of you guys thought I cheated. But let's go into the Super Bowl here against the Rams. And let's see if we can actually take them down. They probably have a really, really high overall team. Probably closer to a 90 at this point. They're an 89. We are an 85. I hope we can get the job done. This game's actually pretty close right now. It is going to be 20-17, 24-27 now after the Rams scored again. Are we going to be able to win this one? I highly doubt it. No, we lose by 3 to Sean McVay and his Rams. Very close game, though. Not bad to actually make it to the Super Bowl by the second season, but I'll briefly go over the stats here. Mariota, 387 yards. I think he threw a couple picks. No, actually, he didn't. It's a really good game for Marcus Mariota. Completion percentage, 77%. Jared Goff played really well, too. the rushing attack just wasn't there. We had 2 rushing touchdowns, but really not many yards. Tajay Sharp, 10 for 80. Corey Davis, 6 for 96. Not many sacks let up. We have 10 tackles from Kenny Vaccaro, 3 tackles for loss for Jarrell Casey, only 1 sack all game, and then 0 interceptions. I have $52.23 million to spend on some free agents. Miles Jack is always here. I'm not going to go after him just for that fact. Nelson Aguilar, though, I think I will go after just to get another wide receiver. I think that's going to be it. I could go after Sheldon Rankins. I mean, Ferguson didn't play too bad, but he's only a 78 overall. I kind of just want to get better if I can, so I'll go after a couple guys, and I'll let you know who I ended up getting. I went after Nelson Aguilar and Sheldon Rankins, and they actually both rejected my contracts. That's a bit annoying. I need a wide receiver now, so I'll either draft one or just get somebody else in free agency here. Well, that was easy. I'm trading up to the 1st overall selection by giving the Raiders the 31st pick and Cruikshank. So that was actually a pretty good backup free safety for us. Pretty sure he's a free safety. But yeah, so I have the 1st overall pick now. I could go after a couple of different positions, but I really just wanted to trade up to get this defensive tackle. So I know I mentioned I wanted to get a wide receiver, but I mean, this is the best looking guy, I think. And I really don't want to take him early 1st round. I just kind of don't. There's some decent looking guys later who I'd rather just take a gamble on. So here I'm going with this defensive tackle. I'm going to make sure I select the guy I want this time, Lawrence Irving. Very, very strong with good top 3 skills. Let's go with him. Okay, so he's a 79. He's actually not that good. 93 strength is really good. 83 block shed, 81 tackling. Ooh, he's a lot worse than I was expecting. Still not that bad of a selection. Definitely should not have went number 1 overall. But I'll come back to you guys with my 2nd round selection, which will probably be a wide receiver. I kind of just need a number 2 wide receiver. I might take a couple and then just start the best one. So there's Shaquan Purvis. What a name. He's just really fast and he's a deep threat. I'm going to go with him. He's a 74. Okay, so I don't really want to start him. If I can't get anybody, I'll just trade for a random wide receiver. I wanted to try to go for one of these late round guys rather than just signing a free agent, but I could always go that route as well because there's probably some decent free agents still there. But this is the last decent one I think is here. So Trey Hubbard, what are you all about, friend? 75 overall. Usually not that great. I think I'll probably either trade for a wide receiver or sign one in free agency. The 1st ranked player in this class was Bradley McMichael. One of these really good man cover corners who are super fast, like the guy we drafted last year, really. Who's the best wide receiver? Le'Veon Daniel? Is this the guy who was supposed to go early 1st? I think it might be. So I could have went with him. No, that guy had A- spec catch, didn't he? The dude who was supposed to go 1st, so it wasn't actually him. It was this guy maybe? Trey Horton? I don't remember his name. Do you have A- spec? You do. Okay, so this is the guy I could have went for. He doesn't look bad at all. That would have been much better than the defensive tackle, I think. But I'm still okay with the defensive tackle. I might start him for this season and then try to trade for another wide receiver. Emmanuel Sanders is just chilling in free agency, so rather than trading for a wide receiver, I'm just going to take Emmanuel Sanders. Still star development. That's pretty cool. So now, I'm not going to make any trades. I'm just going to keep the team the way it is. I will spend my coach experience, though, before I hop into the season. But I want to have the same wide receiver core kind of situation that I had the past couple of seasons. So I want Corey Davis still playing in the slot. So let's make sure that happens because he is just playing out of his mind out of the slot. Michael Thomas is doing all right at the number 1, but I don't want to mess with what's been going on. So Corey Davis is still going to be the slot wide receiver. Hopefully he can go off. I think it's the same order as it's been with regards to the first 2. So Michael Thomas will still be the number 1, Corey Davis the number 2, and now Emmanuel Sanders will just play in the packages. I think when Corey Davis is in the slot, I'm sure he'll just slide up to the number 2. That's what it seems like in my head, at least. You know what will happen. Mariota's up to an 87. He's developing. Derrick Henry, 85. Dion Lewis going down a little bit. The offensive line going down a little bit in overall, Taylor Lewan is, but I think as a whole they're going up. On the defense, Rashaan Evans has an experience point. I'll definitely use that, but a couple good players on here too. Irving is a guy we just drafted. He also fits this scheme, so that really wasn't that bad of a pick, I guess. But I'm liking the team. I think they can make it back into the playoffs. Here we are again at the mid-season mark. This time 4-3, doing a bit worse than last season. We were in 3rd in the division. The Texans are 5-2, along with the Jaguars, and the Colts are 1-6. Starting out on the defense here, we have a couple experience points, 2 from Harden. Pretty nice to see. On the offense, though, Only one from a few players, and I realized I forgot to spend my coach XP, so I'll make sure to do that. I'm actually going to do that now just so I don't forget. We have 4.5 thousand. I can actually get the quarterback upgrade, which I'm going to do. Let's get Marcus Mariota as much experience as possible. And then let's bring back Corey Davis, who is going to be like a 99 after this season. He should be expensive. Adoree Jackson, Budda Baker, and Jonnu Smith are the rest. So it's not that big of a free agency period here, but let's get Corey Davis back on the team. Like the best player on this team at this point. He is superstar dev. He's a 96 overall. Adoree Jackson going down in development for some reason. Did he start with star? I feel like he may have. Budda Baker going down in development. Alright, they're not playing too badly, but whatever. Madden just kills players sometimes. Jonnu Smith still has quick development. I feel like if he has quick, the other two should at least have quick. But I think everybody is coming back to the team. So I'll see you at the end of the season, or hopefully we're in the playoffs. We missed the playoffs this season. That's frustrating. We won 7-9, really. Nothing changed, really. I think the team just got better. 13-3, though, from the Jaguars. They take the division. 2-2 in the preseason. Lost the opening game, won 4 in a row. Lost to the Chargers and the Ravens. Beat the Colts. Lost to the Bengals, 1-2, and then lost the last 5. That really killed us. Ezekiel Elliott wins MVP. So this just means I'll go another season. But Marcus Mariota, it's definitely not his fault. 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Derrick Henry is just bad. What is going on with this? I might have to sign a running back in free agency. I don't know. Michael Thomas this time does better than Corey Davis. Actually, I'd argue Corey Davis had a better season because he had 6 more touchdowns and more yards. Yeah, okay, so Corey Davis definitely had a better season. But Michael Thomas got more catches this time. But still, 1,300 yards pretty much for both of them. 8 touchdowns from Michael Thomas, 14 from Corey Davis. What even is this? Jonnu Smith gets 4 touchdowns. Emmanuel Sanders actually did not get 1. Sack numbers, not terrible. Maybe the run blocking isn't good from these guys, but like we have a good offensive line. I don't think it's a product of that. I think it's just the running backs aren't playing well in this scheme for some reason. 117 tackles from Rashaan Evans, 106 from Logan Condren. We have 13 tackles for loss for Harold Landry, 12 from DeAndre Pratt. Sack numbers, 9 from Jarrell Casey and B.J. Harden. Pretty good season from Harden again, 6.5 from DeAndre Pratt. Interceptions, 2 from Kenny Vaccaro and Adoree Jackson, 1 from Rashaan Evans, Kevin Byard, and Levi Wallace. Any touchdowns? We do not have any touchdowns. Safeties, we do not have any blocked kicks. We have 2, Lawrence Irving and Stanley Anderson. This year we were 12th on offense. I definitely need a new running back. It sucks that I have to get a new one, though. 24th on defense. Okay, so the defense wasn't good either. Ezekiel Elliott, though, wins MVP. Could just trade for him. I don't want to do that. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Deshaun Watson. Marcus Mariota comes in 4th. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Myles Garrett. Rashaan Evans actually makes it number 9. Offensive Rookie of the Year, nobody from the Titans. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we have Lawrence Irving in there, who, of course, is the defensive tackle. Experience point-wise, Corey Davis, how many you got this year? You only got 3, but that's fine. You'll go up to a 99 overall, 2 from Marcus Mariota, and 1 from a couple other guys here on the defense. 3 from Rashaan Evans. I don't see anyone with a ton. Actually, 5 from Harden's really good. Alright, so the team should go up pretty nicely this season. Looking at the Pro Bowl roster here, Phillip Rivers, Blake Bortles, and Baker Mayfield are in it. Le'Veon Bell, Leonard Fournette, Melvin Gordon, Hoover, and Germany, 2 generated fullbacks. Corey Davis is still the first wideout. Michael Thomas is the second one, though. Keenan Allen, Josh Gordon, Cortland Sutton, and Tyler Boyd. Hunter Henry and Christensen are the tight ends, along with ASJ. I always forget there's 3. McManus and Laramie Tunsil, Andrew Norwell, Joel Bitonio, Brandon Linder, Ronnie Hudson, David DeCastro, Kevin Zeitler, Gonzalez, and Jack Conklin. So some new faces in there. Joey Bosa and Emmanuel Ogbah, Myles Garrett, and Carl Lawson. Almost said Corey Lawson for some reason. David Irving, Marcel Darius, or Darius, however you want to pronounce it. And Sheldon Rankins. I really wish we had Sheldon Rankins. Von Miller and Harden make it, so that's why he got so many experience points for our team. Avery Williamson and C.J. Mosley, Jadeveon Clowney, Preston Smith, Kendall Fuller, Terrence Mitchell, Darquez Denard, Desmond King, and Brackenridge. What a name. Derwin James, Jamal Adams, Tyrann Mathieu, Ryan Suckup, Matt Hawk, Filani, and Scott. Scott makes it again as the punt returner. $30.37 million this time to spend in free agency. Tariq Cohen. Should I go after him? Malik Hooker. He could play strong safety. Cameron Jordan, too. Interesting. Desmond King. I think I might go after Malik Hooker. And then I need a running back. James Conner? Should we try James Conner out? I don't think he'll play much better than Derrick Henry, though. I really don't think he will. Philip Lindsay. He could be fun. Now, I think I might try Tariq Cohen and see how that goes. He's not the greatest, like, just starting running back, though. He can kind of take the place of Dion Lewis, though, and I might try to start him. So I think I will go after Tariq Cohen, and then I will go after, who else did I say? Oh, Malik Hooker. We ended up getting Tariq Cohen and Malik Hooker, so Kenny Vaccaro isn't bad, but he's going down in overall pretty consistently, so Malik Hooker will just slide to strong safety, either him or Kevin Byard. I'll probably move Malik, though. And then Tariq Cohen will be the starting running back. I'll have Derrick Henry as the backup. I might even cut Dion Lewis. I'm not sure yet. I just simmed straight through the draft, and as I was simming, I kind of forgot that then I can't check out the draft recap, so that's my bad. I also still have to spend my experience points, but pretty much this will be the team. I want Michael Thomas still being at the number 1. I need another wide receiver, though, so let me actually just go sign a random guy. Is Emmanuel Sanders still there? Philip Dorsett, though. He's actually not too bad. Yeah, he's the top. He was the top free agent, so of course he's going to be the top wide receiver, too. So I'll sign Philip Dorsett just to be like the number 2 kind of guy. And then this is going to be the team. I just have to reorganize some things, but for the most part, this is what it looks like. This will be the last season. Taylor Lewan is dropping off pretty tremendously in overall. So there's a couple like C positions here, but I think the team is really well-rounded and actually really good. If we can get a good running game, this team will make it into the playoffs pretty easily. But Hillenmeyer is the starting center, and he's not a great overall, but he's still been playing well. I haven't really noticed him playing badly. Jonnu Smith, kind of same goes for him. On the defense, this is only a C+ because of the backup, and I still have to move Malik Hooker, but you guys can pretty much visualize the team. I think it's actually a really good one. I'm not sure if it'll eclipse a 90 overall, but this might be one of the best teams I've had under a 90 just because of how they're playing. I definitely still have to switch the slot wide out, and then I think that's actually all I have to do. Actually, yeah, Malik Hooker is the sub linebacker. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I want Rashaan Evans being there. That's interesting. But I'll switch everything around, and I'll see you at the end of the season. So this team missed out on the playoffs again. I'm not really too sure how. 5-11. Really, this team went 5-11. All right, well, this rebuild is a bit of a failure. I don't know how this team went 5-11. 2-2 in the preseason, lost the opening 3, beat the 49ers, lost 2, beat the Dolphins, lost 2, beat the Jets, lost to the Broncos, beat the Patriots, lost 2, beat the Jaguars, lost to the Colts. All right, well, anyway, Deshaun Watson wins MVP. Marcus Mariota, not that bad of a season again. Actually, a lot of interceptions, but still over 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns. I still don't think this is his fault. I don't know. Maybe it's the rushing attack again. What's up with these running backs? Tariq Cohen, 2 touchdowns, 774 yards. Again, Derrick Henry's playing better as a backup than he did a starter. I don't understand. Whatever. Let's check out receiving, though. 1,000 yards for Michael Thomas with 5 touchdowns. Corey Davis, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. He has been like the best player on this team this whole time. Jonnu Smith, 6 touchdowns. Pretty good season there. Blocking, probably not great. So 18 sacks lit up from Taylor Lewan, 14 from Jack Conklin, 12 from James Daniels. That's a really bad season, actually. Maybe the run blocking from these guys just isn't there, but I don't understand why. I think the run blocking is actually kind of good on this team, but who knows. On the defensive side, 123 tackles from Rashaan Evans with 17 tackles for loss and a pick. That's his best season yet. Tackles for loss, 17 from Rashaan Evans actually leads the team. 15 from DeAndre Pratt, 14 from Harold Landry, 12 from B.J. Harden, and 11 from Jarrell Casey. Sack numbers, 8 from Harold Landry leads the team. Interceptions, we have 2 from Budda Baker and Kevin Byard, 1 from Rashaan Evans, Adoree Jackson, Malik Hooker, and Terrell Rambo. I have no idea who that is. Touchdowns, we have none. Safeties, we have 4 actually. Budda Baker, Malik Hooker, Harold Landry, and Carroll Reed all got 1. Block kicks, 2, Harold Landry and Carroll Reed. 21st in the NFL in offense. What about on the defensive side? 14th. Okay, so if the offense was better, this team would have probably been in the playoffs. Deshaun Watson, MVP. Nobody from the Titans. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Deshaun Watson. Nobody from the Titans. Defensive Player of the Year. Really? Rashaan Evans didn't make it, and that was his best season by far, actually. And he made it the past 2 years. Defensive, I always say defensive. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Craig Zimmer. Nobody from the Titans. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Hey, we have Terrell Rambo, whoever that is. He's an 81 overall. All right. Comes in 7th. Nobody else from our team. Best quarterback. Marcus Mariota is actually not even on the list. Interesting. Best running back, we're definitely not going to have anybody. Best wide receiver, probably have 2 players. John Ross wins it, though. He's on the Chargers. Really? We don't have 1, but Trent Taylor makes it of the 1-15 Raiders. How? I'm in the right division. Yeah, I for sure am. Okay, best offensive lineman. Are we just not going to have anybody? Best D lineman. Oh my. Best linebacker. Okay. Best defensive back. What is going on? Best kicker. Finally, we have Ryan Suckup. What happened? How do we not have anybody in any of these awards? I get the team didn't play well as a whole, but our pieces played kind of well. Whatever. This was a weird season. Not many experience points for the offense. Actually, a decent number for the defense, but I'm sorry, Titans fans. I did take you guys to a Super Bowl in the one season. I don't really know how the team went so much downhill after that, though. Like, I think the team just kind of got better. I didn't change any of the schemes. I didn't change any of the playbooks. I honestly kept the Titans playbooks for each season. I think I might just start doing this from now on because it seems kind of like more fun that way, more challenging, because you can always just change it to spread and like the Saints offensive playbook and get cheesy numbers. But it was kind of fun in this one not doing that. It was cool to see Corey Davis absolutely go off. Marcus Mariota played really well. Their running game just was not good. What's the run blocking of these guys? Maybe it is their fault. All right, so we have 75 run block. That's really bad. James Daniels has 83. Okay, so that's good. Hillenmeyer has 86, so that's good. Shaq Mason, 86, so that's good. And then Jack Conklin, 81. So it's definitely not the offensive lineman's fault. Maybe it's just the scheme and running backs just don't do well in this scheme. I don't know. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.